Hello, my name's Anne,
And my name's Stephen.
and this channel is,
Wagtail, our utopian dream.
and what we want to talk to you about tonight is making your dream a reality. So, when I first met Stephen, about 4.5 years ago now, he always told me that he wanted to live on a narrowboat, and he told me about his lifelong passion of the canals and just wanted to live on the canals but never actually got there.
That's very true. A lifelong ambition, and it's finally coming true for us, isn't it? So,
Well, the thing is, you get to a point in life and you don't want any regrets. And if you don't do what you set out to do, that's when you start to have them, isn't it?
it is, because as Anne's aware, I became interested in canals in 1984, but certainly at the age of 17, when I was on a youth training scheme doing £27.30 a week. What I'm trying to say is, if I would have had the money back then, I would have bought a narrowboat, I would have lived in it, and I would have been exploring the canal system much sooner. And fast forward, I'm now 56, and I've still got that passion to not only to own a narrowboat, but to explore and have a nice life, really, innit?
Yeah. So the past 4 years we've been walking up and down many a towpath.
Quite a few.
Yeah, admiring the scenery and looking at the narrowboats.
Yeah, and like you say, we've not only walked open canals, but we've walked a few derelict ones, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Like the Manchester Bullenbury Canal, Fletcher's Canal.
Yes, yeah.
Bits and parts.
Yeah. So, and a few round where we live at the moment, like the Calder and Hebble
Navigation. And we've boated on that trip boat, haven't we? In Calder Navigation.
Yes.
With a bit of Leeds to Liverpool.
Yeah, we've been on the Leeds to Liverpool.
We've been a few places, haven't we?
We have.
And we always enjoy it, It's brilliant.
We can't forget the Rochdale, can we?
No, we can't forget the Rochdale Canal. No, we can't.
We've been up and down that a few times.
Yeah, but mainly on the towpath though.
Yeah. So, last year we thought we'd just investigate things a bit more regarding being able to live on a narrowboat. So what we thought we'd do first of all is go to Crick, didn't we?
Yeah, but even before we get to that, you think about it, it's setting the scene.
Yeah.
Obviously, even though we're considering this concept of living on a narrowboat, Anne's got a 3-bed house. So it's not as if you can snap your fingers and get into a boat. You know what I mean? Because obviously I live with Anne in Ossett, and you've got a house. So you've also got to factor in that if you're going to do it, then at some point then you've got to start thinking, well, I've got a lot of stuff in these rooms, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
But we went to Crick first just to test it out, didn't we?
Just to see if you liked it.
Well, plus the thing is, I was a bit of a novice. To be fair, I didn't know much about it, and much about narrowboats at all. I did like the look of them. Yeah. But when we went to Crick, we went to a lot of talks, didn't we?
Yeah, again, that's the good thing about Crick. I know a lot of people have been, but for anyone who hasn't, it really is invaluable, because we kind of went along with an open mind, but we also had ideas like certain seminars that in the Waterways World Marquee, isn't there? Like buying a narrowboat and different types of narrowboat and all that. So that if you're going in as a novice, it's quite invaluable to attend, and they're free, you know what I mean? Go in and listen, you can take notes, you can, there's loads of stalls, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
So there's some, be it boat insurance, be it engines, you name it. Crick's a brilliant place to go. And what I especially like is, if you're even contemplating getting a narrowboat, is the fact that there's certain boats for sale, isn't there?
Yeah.
And you've got to get a ticket, and sometimes you might have to wait a little bit, but you get to go on these boats for sale, and it gives you a good idea of not only layouts, because obviously you can have reverse layouts, etc. Not so much at a Crick, but there's also wide boats, isn't there? So it's not just narrowboats. Obviously, we were interested in a narrowboat, but some people, which I can understand because they want more space, look at wide boats. You know what I mean? And then you've got the traditional boats, aren't you?
Yes.
So the good thing about Crick, you've got a summit for everyone. You know what I mean? It's like the icing on the cake, isn't it?
Well, it is.
So to speak.
And everybody's really friendly. And to be fair, I learnt a lot, especially at the cinemas, because it was about buying a boat, what to look for, the pitfalls, maintaining a boat. And also the boat builders were there. I mean, they were way out of our price range,
Yeah.
but it was lovely to see the gorgeous boats that they built.
That's right.
It was lovely to meet Sean as well,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
and with the is it how do you pronounce it? HD.
PE, is it? With the plastic boats.
Yeah, because that hole was there, and again, that's like really unique, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it really is. Like I said, if you've not been, I recommend going to Crick if you've been contemplating, like going on a boat, because it's not just like the boats and that. It's chatting to people, isn't it?
Lots, and I tell you what, when we were near the historic boats, I spoke to this lady who'd been on the canals for years, and she had a historic boat. It was built in 1936, and what she said to me, because I was saying, well, we're looking at narrowboats at the moment, what she said to me was, as long as you've got a good hull, you can change the inside. It doesn't matter about the inside as long as the hull is good, and that was invaluable advice, although we knew that a little bit.
Obviously, because like your hull, and not just a hull, if you've been contemplating buying a boat, survey.
Yes.
Because I know it's like survey, but if you want to avoid the pitfalls, it probably is advisable to do that, isn't it? But like that lady said, because obviously if you've got a good hull, again, I'm not an expert on narrowboats, but I believe certain years there was poor quality steel, so that can affect narrowboats. And again, I have nothing against springers at all. There's many all over the system, but I do believe they were built with thinner steel. So like fast forward like 20 odd years, and it's getting a bit thin, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is a minefield, and like you said, I suppose that the big one for is budget, isn't it? Because if you've got a budget, like a really healthy one, it might be that you contemplate getting a new build, aren't you? Which, to be fair, because at the position we're in at this stage, we couldn't have afforded one of them. So even though we're interested, it wasn't for us, was it?
No.
So
there is a lot of brokers at Crick as well, and we went around a lot of stands, and they were really, really helpful, weren't they?
They were, and like you said, it's nice in that respect, because not only can you just chat to them and you can say what you're looking for, be it narrow or broad, layouts and all that. They've got lots of boats for sale on it's like a board, and you can pick up the leaflet, you know what I mean, and it gives you a good flavour what's out there, but also the price range, you know what I mean, because we went, and like I said, some beautiful boats, sort of brand new boats which were for sale at 100k plus, which are brilliant, but we weren't in that position. But even though they weren't in that position, it still gives you good ideas what you might like on your boat when you finally get one, you know what I mean.
We went to Wilton Marina as well, because that's just down the road from Crick.
Yeah, we did, and that was interesting in itself, you know what I mean, because again, not too far to get to, and they've got quite a lot of second-hand boats, haven't they, you know what I mean. Obviously, you go in there, introduce yourself, tell them what you want, and then they're usually quite good. You're left alone to go and look at these boats, you know what I mean, and it's a good idea, because again, like different lengths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many things with a narrowboat in there.
I do remember though, when we were at Wilton Marina, this bloke said, "Oh, you need a 60-foot narrowboat," and luckily we'd done a bit of homework because we're based up north.
Yeah, near Wakefield.
And and a lot of the canals up here are shorter than the ones down south.
Well, it's the lock sizes, you know what I mean? It's like Anne said, like one of the things they always wanted to do. Bearing in mind, I was exploring what were then derelict canals like the Huddersfield Narrow, and things like that, Rochdale, Manchester, Waterbury. But certainly with the Huddersfield Narrow Canal, being a narrow canal, you're dictated by the lock size, aren't you?
Yeah.
Same with the Calder Nebel. You know what I mean? So, yeah, a 60-foot boat might be brilliant, but if you want to go up the Calder Nebel and you're not used to going one by one on each side, which even the experienced boaters have, I'm not saying not recommended it, but I think it's knowing your limitation on size.
Yeah.
It's like when we first started looking, like most people were told really sort of like 55, 57 feet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what you might call like a go anywhere boat. Because the last thing you want to do is, it's like if you got a full size narrowboat, you can get so far, but then you'd have to stop and go back.
Yeah.
Well, that to me it's a shame, because you want to see what's around that next bend, you know what I mean? And go and explore all the new places on route. So
we knew that we couldn't go any more than 57 foot.
Yeah.
We spoke to a couple of people at Crick that had gone for boats, had a survey, and the survey didn't come back very good and they've had to go for another boat.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it on this one because it's going to be another episode.
Yeah.
But, and I can't stress enough, survey, 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 survey. And obviously have an idea what you want. Is it a broad beam boat? Is it like an all working boat? Is it a narrow boat? You know what I mean? It could even be any style of boat, can it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously your budget dictates a lot. But it's not just that. Until you've had that survey, it might look beautiful and it might be polished up and inside is exactly right. But until you get a proper surveyor who's qualified to do the test the thickness of the steel, it's a lot of money to put out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because once you've spent your money, you've spent your money.
Yeah.
And then it can backfire. You know, I have heard stories in the past where people have bought project boats and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's difficult if you can't do the jobs that are required. Like if you're an experienced welder, you might have a chance. But if you buy a boat without a survey and it later turns out to be maybe not the thickest base plate, then it's going to cost you a lot of money to put it right.
Yeah.
And you do genuinely feel sorry for these people, and I do get it because surveys aren't cheap, are they?
No.
But it's money well spent. And like you said, we will talk about it a bit later, but like if you do go for, it's difficult, you know, you've got boats on Facebook Marketplace. But me personally, this is only my opinion. I know people can do exactly what they want. But when we started looking for boat, we wanted to go with a broker, didn't we?
Yes.
Because not only is your money protected, but in most instances you put quite a small deposit, like a couple of grand.
Yeah.
And that shows you are interested in a boat. But obviously what it then means, you get it surveyed at your cost. But if it come back like it was a colander, you've lost your survey money, but you get your
You get the rest of your deposit back, so you've got a bit of sort of like
a bit
safety
of leeway,
net there.
you know what I mean? And that's, to me, it's a godsend because it's like obviously I won't talk about it too much, but if you've not got a great budget,
yeah,
you know, once you've spent it, if something, you buy this boat and then you find out it needs a lot of work, be it an engine or whatever, have you got the money to actually repair it? Or will it end up being another project boat sold back on Facebook Marketplace? You know, and there are other things you learn, don't you? You know, and again, that's the good thing about going to them, you know, like seminars, like later boats, the craft directive.
Yes.
You know,
which
things,
you didn't know that about.
Yeah,
that,
to be honest, I didn't. And it's only when you start looking at it, like a boat's after a certain year. You know what I mean? If you've had like real big changes, say someone's gutted a boat out, and it's after that year, then basically if you do any changes to it, like have a complete refit out, you're supposed to get it examined again, which I believe is about $5,000.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of money to get it approved. You know what I mean? And that's why certain brokers now, they put, something compliance. A lot of them say no.
Yeah.
And the problem is, if you buy a boat like that, when it comes to finally sell it, you might struggle. So it's a lot of it is do your homework, innit?
Yeah, it is.
Do your homework.
So Stephen picked up a lot of leaflets, didn't you?
Oh God,
we looked at everything, like the compost toilets, everything.
We really did, and that's the good thing about Crick. You know what I mean? It's that many stalls, and like I said, a lot of them are really happy.
Yeah.
Even like Anne said about compost toilets, you know, you've got a few different examples on display, different price ranges, but the people who actually at them stalls were quite happy to talk about it, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because again, I'd heard about it, but never been up close and personal with a composting toilet before. You know what I mean? And it was kind of interesting. And like I said, I won't spoil it, but initially we were really taken by that idea, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then things changed slightly, which, like I said, nothing against composting toilets. They're still quite fancy one.
Yeah.
But there's pluses and negatives. More so is what do you do with do you have to leave it on your roof? You know what I mean? You can't just go and put it on the bank, can you?
No, CRT have said you can't do anything like that. So that's part of the
disposal of
difficulty with them. So
you know
I think a lot of people put them on the roofs, don't they?
Yeah, so it's just different things. And like I said, a lot of it is, obviously, it's like anything. You won't go and buy a house without a survey.
No.
And I think it's same with a boat. You know, if you really are spending your life savings that a lot of people do on a boat and you get it wrong, then if you can't afford to fix it, your money's gone. And again, other things we kind of learned is that certain boats, if they've been overplated, which means at some point in the life the boat has got quite thin in terms of its metal, and they put metal over that, which is overplaying, giving it like a new skin almost, but the metal still got underneath that certain insurance companies won't insure it.
Yeah.
So if you can't get insurance, what it means is you're not going to get a license, which means really you can't use it.
Yeah.
So it's really a case of do your homework, and I know I said it, but survey, and be realistic. Because I saw boats there and I would have loved them, but I simply didn't have the money.
No, we didn't.
And that's the thing is, you know what I mean? It's, you know, like I said, if you won the lottery, I might have thought, oh, it'd be nice to get a new boat. But obviously, even if you went down that route, the really good and specialised boat builders have got a long waiting list, haven't
Yes, they have.
So it doesn't mean you're going to get it straight away.
No.
So yeah, you know what I mean? It is. I don't want to say it's a minefield because it's a lifestyle choice, isn't it?
It is.
Because the other question is, are you buying the boat to live on it? Or are you buying it just to use like occasional weekend use?
Yes.
Because there is other boats like GRP fiberglass boats, not for everyone, but depending upon your budget, that might be the way to go initially.
Yeah.
You know, to see if it is for you. You know what I mean? Rather than investing tens of thousands of pounds, a good GRP boat. What are they now? About $5,000, like an old Norman 20 or something.
Stephen was scouring the internet and he looked at everything, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and like you said, again, I don't want to spoil it because it's not about this one, but I was lucky in terms of early retirement and lump sum, which give us, let's just say, that bit more.
Yeah, to
because
play with,
because
really.
Being honest, like you said, like initially, before that came about, I was kind of looking for something like an old Norman cruiser, you know, about $5,000, and we actually found one, didn't we, online on the Lancaster Canal.
We did, yeah.
And it looked quite tidy, but again, you know, lovely. Well, not that we'd viewed it, but what I'm trying to say is it's a weekend boat.
Yeah.
Most of them don't have showers, you know what I mean, maybe not properly insulated, probably not ideal for living on. And I know people do it with GRP craft, but me, I couldn't put a wood burning stove on a fiberglass boat, because in the past there has been horror stories where amber's literally, it's gone up like a torch, you know what I mean?
I think the thing to do is decide what you want, really,
well,
and have a good think about it. So we went to Crick, we came back, and then while we were at Crick, we were trying to find a helmsman course, and there was only one company there, but they were based down south.
Yeah, and bear in mind we live up north.
And we wanted somewhere up north. Well, luckily, Stephen, he always scours the internet and Facebook. He came across Readley Boaters.
Yeah, I did.
Boating, didn't you?
Yeah, and that kind of, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we found it and we made contact with Roy, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
You know, like from Readley Boating, really nice gentleman. And I think initially, when we first made contact, the dates that he had clashed with Crick, didn't they?
Yes.
If you remember.
Yeah, so we wanted to bring it forward, didn't we?
Yeah, so that was a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But we did eventually, we booked on the Helmsman, didn't we?
We did. And we went in July, didn't we?
Went in July. And again, in some ways it was touch and go, because at that point was the Leeds and Liverpool Canal closed because of like water levels, water supply issues. You know what I mean? And
well, it was.
There was issues, weren't there?
We didn't do the full Helmsman, did we?
No, we
just
didn't. That's true.
Did part of it, and then we had to go back and complete it.
But we did the first part, obviously, you know, like obviously you can't just jump on, you've got to learn you know, again, we met some nice, interesting tutors, didn't we?
We did. Amy was the lady that taught us, who was so lovely, so knowledgeable, basically a fabulous teacher. And we had a whale of a time that weekend, didn't we? We had another lady with us, Lisa.
And she was brilliant as well.
Yeah, so it was
brilliant.
a fab weekend.
Yeah. But if you forgot, there's a little four-legged friend.
Oh yeah, and Freya, who's Amy's dog.
And you know, lovely. You know, I like stalking dogs.
So that really sort of set the scene for us, because we loved it. We went through, was it Gano Tunnel?
Gano Tunnel. Well, again, one of the highlights for me was doing the Burnley Mile. You know what I mean? Because I've done it in the past, but it was so nice to kind of revisit it. But this is the first time I'd ever been across on a narrowboat.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing, obviously one of the wonders of the waterways. You know, they call it the Burnley Mile, but I believe it's only, is it just over 3/4 of a mile long?
Yeah.
But again, it's on a big embankment, and you can see like all over sort of town centre, can't you?
You can, yeah.
You know, it's an experience. And going through Gano Tunnel again, you know what I mean? It's like, just going through a tunnel, you know what I mean? I think anyone who you know, I know some people don't like them, but I kind of like them because it's amazing to think that you're underground and obviously you're on the boat and the boat's doing the work.
Yeah.
And like when you kind of put your spotlight on the front, and it's just kind of eerie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because a few times, like going through, and you always get dripped on. You know what I mean? If I'm not concentrating, it's like a shower on my head.
Yeah, Stephen loves tunnels. I'm not so keen.
Yeah, no, I know. Again, you know, I'm not saying you should finger, but there's always that echo effect, isn't there? Someone goes woo, and woo. Yeah.
So we also practiced going in a turning circle as well, so we could turn the boat.
And again, I must admit though, until we did the Helmsman, we would never. Well, obviously at Crick, what I'm trying to say, we'd never steered in our boat.
No.
We never did any manoeuvres like reversing in our boat. You know what I mean? And just getting used to not only the length, the width, and the tiller.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you start thinking into it where with a tiller, you know, you turn one way and it goes opposite.
Yeah.
And it takes some getting used to, you know what I mean? Because like, especially if, I'm not saying you won't panic, but sometimes if you forget, you end up going one way.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal, a boat's coming towards you, is it?
No. So yeah, it was a fab weekend. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And it got us fired up, didn't it?
It did, and then later on, obviously, because it was, I think the water supply meant the locks couldn't be used.
Yes.
But that was part of the Helmsman, so obviously we did that initial weekend, didn't we?
We did, and we had to go back.
But we had to go back to actually go through the locks, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which you're not a million mile away from Reedley.
No.
But that was an experience in itself, wasn't it? Obviously, like, you know, like when you were a novice, you know, like just pulling into the side, you know, like rope work, the different knots involved in it. You know what I mean? And then obviously setting the lock up into it, lock etiquette.
Yeah.
Making sure, like, is anyone coming, you know, so you can share locks. On our occasion, there wasn't, was there really?
No, there wasn't, no.
So it's just, you know, you can imagine, like, you're novice, just like setting off and then going into lock. You know, obviously you got controls, throttle and that, and you got to take it out of gear. And then, someone else is shutting the lock gates.
Yeah.
For people who've not done it before, it's quite an experience, isn't it?
If you have never had a narrowboat before and you're thinking of having one, or you're going to buy one, I would definitely say go on your Helmsman.
Yeah.
Because it's so informative and it really, really helps, doesn't it?
It does, because it not only, just say you're on the Helmsman and you might struggle with something, at least you've got a qualified person at the side here who can help and advise you that the best way. Because if I remember rightly, remember I was going slightly along and it was a bit shallow and it grounded at one point. You remember?
Yeah.
It grounded, you know, because it was the water level were well down.
Yeah.
And obviously Amy didn't help because we had to, you know, you couldn't go forwards. You had to kind of rock the boat, but get it to go backwards.
Yeah.
And then finally we brought free, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And she sort of like tells you how to line up the bridges and that's
like using the keystone and like the kind of spot lamp on the boat in it and everything and not only that but the etiquette, you know what I mean, if you're going past more boats, slowing down, any anglers, etc. And again, it just, I think that the thing is, it obviously you're learning but trying to enjoy it at the same time. You know what I mean, but it's like everything, the more you do it the better you get. But like Anne said, I'd certainly recommend, if you're even contemplating getting a boat on the canals, I know there's a cost involved, but it's money well spent, isn't it?
Totally. It gives you the confidence.
Yeah, it gives you the confidence. It's not just your boat. You know, like just say you've not been on the Helmsman and you, God forbid it, someone else's boat, then you might have problems, might you?
Yeah.
Financially and insurance companies and stuff.
So then the next stage of us looking into getting a narrowboat was to go on a narrowboat holiday with Sam, wasn't it? Our dog.
Sam, our dog. And that was really nice because that seemed a natural progression. Obviously, you know, we've been to Crick. Obviously, I was still like looking online for boats and stuff. We did the Helmsman, didn't we? Yeah. And then we thought, right then, because obviously we've got Sam in it. He's a lovely boy, isn't he?
He is.
You know, like 4-year-old. He kind of looks like a collie, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
But obviously, Sam being part of family, you know, in the back of your mind was that worry that obviously he's coming on this hire boat for a week. Will he take to it? Because if, say, he didn't like it and it was barking all the time and you kind of question, well, as much as you want to do it, he's still part of the family. And so that was in the back of my mind, kind of hoping that he would enjoy it. And we figure like, you know, like certainly myself, and I think Anne won to it. I'd always wanted to do the Mon and Brett Canal, because such a beautiful canal, isn't it?
It's absolutely gorgeous,
stunning.
yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just ironic that when we did it, it just been hit by that storm, whatever it was.
Storm Amy, actually. But we saw quite a bespoke boat, didn't we?
Yeah.
Was it Beacon Park boats?
Yeah, Beacon Park boats, and again, really nice, because again, quite a long drive, wasn't it, from Wakefield?
Yes, yeah.
But I always remember when you almost you're going through lots of nice villages, and then you go up this lane, and then you turn left, and there's a set of gates at the marina, and they kind of like welded like lock gates. So you know what I mean? It's like lock gates, like fixed to it, and it's kind of clever. It works like that. It's like brilliant, really.
Yeah.
And then obviously you get there, don't we? And it's such a lovely setting, isn't it?
It's stunning.
Beautiful setting.
Stunning. I mean, it's South Wales, isn't it, the Mon and Brett? So it took
lovely.
us just over 4 hours with a break. But so we got on our boat, didn't we?
Yeah, and it was, I believe, called Wren, was
Wren?
it?
Yeah.
And it really nice boat, and it was kind of special in so much as, well, let's just say there was a shower in the middle of the boat.
Yeah.
And it was, let's just say if you're having a shower, you know, you don't worry what you look like, because you start naked and everyone can see you, you know what I mean?
Luckily there was only me and Sam.
Listen, shut your curtains quick, you know what I mean? Don't give everyone a fight. But yeah, no, superb boat, really nice tutorial, weren't it?
Yeah.
And it was amazing, but we're kind of spoiled at first, because like originally I wanted to go left and go like the locks.
Yeah.
The aqueduct and the tunnel.
Yeah.
But again, because the story I'm Amy, there'd been some trees falling that way. So we thought, we'll go the other way then. Go the other way this time.
Yeah.
You know, and then hopefully at some point I will go back to finish the other side.
The other way, there's no locks, you see.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they'd also suffered last summer with the drought, hadn't they, with the canal?
Yeah, and again, there was issues at one point, you know what I mean? They were being held to ransom, weren't they, about the water supply, which I think it's finally been resolved now. But again, it just shows really, because at one point it was almost running dry, weren't it?
Yeah.
And a few occasions on our boat, certainly going under bridges, grounded a little bit, do you remember?
It did, yeah.
And like the weed growth as well, in certain areas, it was almost like you just got the width for the boat, a narrow boat. And it was almost like being in like a rainforest, because the reed were that high on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, and on one occasion, I remember I was going along, obviously taking my time.
Yeah.
And then we got so far in, and then there was a boat coming towards us.
Going quite fast.
And then suddenly you're in that position where, you know, like we ended up reversing a good distance back, weren't it, to let them out. But then because we went to the side to let them out after reversing, then we grounded again.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So it is what it is, isn't it?
But I suppose that's all part of the canals and
fun,
being on a boat, isn't it?
I learned how to reverse.
But do you feel that you have more confidence because you took the Helmsman?
No, I agree. Like you said, that's one thing, you know, like, again, I realise there's a cost to it, and it might be you have to save up a little bit, but I think it's more sensible. You won't jump in a car unless you've had driving lessons.
Yeah. And
like when you're talking about a boat that's worth quite a lot of money, and not just your boat, but you could end up damaging bridges, you could end up damaging other people's boats.
Yeah.
So in terms of not only practice peace of mind, but like being sensible, because the last thing you want to do, you don't want to damage the bloody infrastructure of a canal like a bridge.
No.
You don't want to hurt anyone else's boat. You know what I mean? So yeah, best advice. Do your helmsman first, and then you're more confident, are you?
You are.
You're more confident, and from there it's kind of just practicing it.
It is.
Practicing what you learn.
We didn't actually. We took our time.
We did take our time.
On a break, because I wanted to take the scenery in and do a bit of exploring. There were some people that were sort of like going for it to try and get to the end.
Because some people, again, you know, obviously it's quite a long canal, weren't it? But we wanted to kind of like, we didn't, even though a week weren't enough, was it, to be fair?
Not really, no.
Because did we get as far as Goitree Wharf or whatever?
We did.
Which was an amazing spot, but we needed another day just to get to the part where it becomes derelict.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like everything else, you know what I mean? It was challenging conditions, because on one occasion we're going along
And we were going to go further than what we
But a
actually
tree
were.
had come down again,
Yeah,
hadn't it?
yeah, and blocked the bridge, so we moored up for the night. But that's how it is,
Yeah,
you know.
but then you could hear the chainsaws in the
Yeah,
morning, so you
yeah.
thought, well, at least they've arrived.
Yeah.
But the thing is, obviously, if you have to tie in for any reason, then you go exploring, don't you?
Yeah, totally.
Take Sam a walk, and then because a few times we needed supplies, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
You know, because that's the one thing, you can bring all this stuff with you, you know, back of your car. But sometimes it's just nice, isn't it? What was that place called? We went to that Chippy. That was quite nice, wasn't it, with a low bridge?
I can't remember.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is sometimes you're lucky because you'll pull up and you've got a bit of a village and you'll find a Chippy. But other occasions we tied up at one place and we're not really near anywhere, were we?
No.
And we had that long trek, about 40 minutes to walk to the nearest, you know, like supermarket.
Yeah.
And then obviously we had 40 minutes to walk back with a dog carrying a lot of bags.
That was at that wharf, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's the name of that wharf? With that very historic one with the white.
Oh, Landfoyce Wharf. I think it was Landfoyce, yeah. And that was interesting in itself because of that bend.
Yes.
You know, and we ended up doing a little, and that's one thing, I'm sure you've seen it. We did a few kind of shorts, didn't we? Short videos.
Did, yeah.
And one of them was just show me making that bend coming back, didn't it?
Yeah.
Landfoyce Wharf. But, excuse me. So yeah, you know, our experience, invaluable. Helmsman, Crick, really.
Yeah.
Crick, research, Helmsman, hire a boat, and then you'll know one, if you like it, you know what I mean? Because it's like everything. I know people say it's not for everyone, but until you try it, you don't know.
No. Yeah.
But like they say, is like when we went, the weather weren't too bad, were it?
We had a lovely week.
That's
it was
what
October, and to be fair, although we had Storm Amy on the Friday and we were there on the Saturday, that week following was absolutely amazing.
But you got to remember, like if you're even contemplating buying a boat, you know, it's not always going to be sunny, is it?
No,
You're going to have days where it's torrential rain. You're going to have other days where it's frost and snow.
Yeah.
You might be frozen in. So that's the thing. You've really got to ask yourself, is it for you? But if it's something you want to do, then you've got to try it, because it's like myself. Like, I don't want to live in regret. You know, like I'm 56 now and I wanted to do that for decades, haven't I?
Yeah.
And again, in another episode, we'll talk about what happened next, so to speak. But the good thing is, going back to that, you know, I'm in the boat and I'm on the break, kind of at the end of it, I'd made my mind up. That's what I wanted to do, innit?
Yeah, I was still a bit uncertain.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you why in the next episode, and why I changed my mind as well. I mean, I love Stephen to bits and I would never be without him, but I'm still a bit, I'm not so sure about this one.
Was it more about the space? Because suddenly you're living in a rather narrow tube.
Yeah.
You're not living in a 3-bed house, are you?
No.
You know what I mean? It takes some getting used to. And again, say someone's in the galley, there's not a lot of room. So usually you kind of like one person will sit down, one will go to the galley. I struggle a bit with the size of the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, you know what I mean? And I know it's kind of quirky, and maybe it's more for like dating couples.
It's probably honeymooners.
But I'm quite shy when it comes to like naked bodies, you know what I mean? It's like...
I had to look the other way.
Yeah, I was there like having a shower and trying to cover myself up with a bloody towel like that, you know, it's like... But no, it was fun. And the good thing about it, because like I mentioned earlier, like one of the big things for me was how was Sam, our dog, would he take to it? And he loved it, didn't he?
He thought it was amazing.
He loved it. He loved, like, when we're moving, he loved standing on front of the boat, just sticking his head out, didn't he?
Watching the sheep go by.
Watching the sheep, kind of taking an interest. Oh, it's Betty over there, you know.
Yeah, he thought it was amazing.
Yeah, and he just like thingy, like lie down flat, wanting. He loved his walks.
Yeah.
And he really did take to it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he suddenly becomes Sam the Canal dog. Yeah. You know, which is kind of stuck with him.
Oh, the locals were lovely as well on the Breck. And they love that canal. You can tell how much they love it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Because like, you know, like, go back like years ago, like, I'm not saying communities don't exist anymore, but I think like with canals especially, you do seem to have that level of community.
Totally, yeah,
like if you got into difficulty, usually someone can help.
Yeah.
Or if you brought down Centre Channel, someone will say like, do you want me to give you a tour?
Yeah.
Like, no, you're never going to get everyone, but the majority of people are really genuine, nice people.
Yeah.
And if you're unsure about something, they'll help you, won't they?
Oh, totally.
You know
But anyway, we will be back next time and tell you the next instalment of Wagtail, Our Utopian Dream.
That's correct. And I hope you've enjoyed this one. You know, like, and hopefully you've gained something from it. Because I know everyone's experience of buying a boat is different. But like I said, us, Crick, Helmsman, hiring a boat for a week.
Yeah. Anyway,
invaluable.
We'll speak to you soon, or see you soon. Take care.
See you later. Have a good one. Bye.